You ever look around and wonder why so many people you know work their tails off day in and day out, but they're still completely broke? It's a weird feeling, right? Because if hard work alone made you rich, well, every construction worker would be a millionaire. But that's not how it works. So something is definitely off. What's really going on here? Let's dive into the hidden mechanics of this money trap. I mean, it's one of the most frustrating questions out there. You do everything you're supposed to. You put in the hours, you get the promotion, you get the raise, but you never ever seem to actually get ahead. It's that feeling of being stuck, right? Like you're running faster and faster, but somehow staying in the exact same place. Well, I'm here to tell you, that feeling, it's not just in your head. The reason is most of us are caught on what you might call a financial treadmill. Just picture it. You're running, you're sweating, you're putting in all this effort, but no matter how fast your legs are moving, the scenery just never changes. You are putting in the work, for sure, but you're not actually building any wealth. You're just treading water. All right, so let's break this down. What exactly is this financial treadmill? And why is it so darn good at keeping people stuck? Well, it all starts with the fundamental way you earn your money. Okay, so this right here is the heart of the trap. Most of the world runs on active income. You trade your time for a paycheck. You work an hour, you get paid for an hour. Simple enough. But here's the problem. You only have so many hours in a day. Your income has a hard ceiling. System income, though, that's a different beast entirely. That's about building an asset, an engine that works for you 24/7. The goal is to stop being the engine and start owning one. That's the only way you can truly break through that ceiling. But here's the thing, even if you manage to make more active income, there's another trap just waiting for you. And this quote, man, it just nails the problem. Earning more money doesn't automatically make you any wealthier. For a lot of people, it actually makes the trap even tighter. And here it is, the official name for this sneaky villain, lifestyle creep. We've all seen it. You get a nice raise, and what happens? Well, suddenly you can afford a slightly nicer car. Your apartment gets an upgrade. You start eating out at fancier places. And before you know it, every single penny of that new raise is gone, eaten up by your new, higher expenses. You're making more, but you're still ending the month at zero. And don't for a second think this is just a problem for people with lower salaries. This stat is absolutely staggering. A full quarter of families making over 150 grand a year are still living paycheck to paycheck. This just proves it once and for all, it's not about how much money you earn, it's about what you do with that money. To win, you have to play a completely different game. So let's talk about that different game. Instead of just running on the treadmill, the real goal is to build a wealth engine, something that actually propels you forward. So the classic book, The Millionaire Next Door, breaks people down into these two camps. You've got your UAWs, the underaccumulators of wealth. These folks are masters of lifestyle creep. They make great money and they spend it on looking rich. Then you've got the PAWs, prodigious accumulators of wealth. They do the exact opposite. Their focus isn't on looking rich, it's on actually being rich. And that means building their net worth, usually quietly, without anybody noticing. And this right here, this is the scorecard that actually matters. Not your salary, not your job title, your net worth. It's really simple, what you own minus what you owe. See, the UAWs are fixated on their income, what's coming in every month. But the PAWs, they're obsessed with their balance sheet. They're all about building up their assets. So what fuels this wealth engine? It's a little thing called compounding. And as you can see, it is a powerful double-edged sword. When you have debt, compounding works against you, turning a small problem into a giant hole. But when you have assets, it becomes your best friend, turning a small investment into a mountain of wealth. It's that idea of your money making money, and then the money that money makes making even more money. It's how you grow a forest from a single seed. Okay, the math is pretty undeniable, right? Spend less than you earn, invest the difference. So if it's really that simple, why isn't everyone wealthy? Well, it turns out that building wealth is almost never a math problem. It's a psychology problem. The biggest obstacle isn't in your spreadsheet, it's between your ears. And this really is the key question, isn't it? The roadmap is out there. It's not a secret. But knowing the path and actually walking the path, well, those are two very different things. And the obstacles are usually invisible because they are hardwired directly into our brains. I love this description. Our brains were not designed for the modern world of finance. They evolved to survive on the savannah, which means they're programmed to find food now, run from danger now, and basically seek immediate gratification. None of those instincts are very helpful when it comes to the slow, patient process of long-term investing. So these ancient survival instincts, they show up today as cognitive biases. You can think of them as glitches in our mental software. They're shortcuts that help us make quick decisions, which was great for survival. But when it comes to money, these shortcuts often lead us right off a financial cliff.
Take loss aversion, for example. Studies show that the pain of losing $100 is about twice as strong as the pleasure of finding $100. It's nuts. This bias makes us terrified of taking the calculated risks that are actually necessary for growth. It also explains why people will cling to a losing stock forever, just hoping it'll come back, because selling it would make that painful loss real. And then you've got herding. This instinct is deep in our DNA. If our ancestors saw the rest of the tribe running, they ran too. No questions asked. And that kept them alive. But in the world of investing, it's a recipe for disaster. It's what pushes us to buy an asset when it's all over the news and the price is sky high, and then to panic sell when everyone else is scared and prices are in the tank. We literally do the exact opposite of what we should be doing.
Okay, so we know the problem, we know the goal, and we know about the psychological traps waiting for us. So how do we actually start building that wealth engine and finally step off this financial treadmill?
Here are 3 concrete steps to get going. First, stop depending on a single paycheck. That's just too fragile. You need to start a side hustle, invest, create another stream of income. Second, learn a high-value skill. The more problems you can solve for other people, the more you can earn. And third, make a conscious shift from being a consumer to being a creator. Instead of just scrolling through social media, build something, a project, a product, a small business that can become a real asset. Now, for any of this to work, you absolutely have to defeat lifestyle creep. And you can't just rely on willpower. That's a battle you will lose. You need a system, a simple rule that you follow automatically every single time your income goes up. And here is a fantastic, simple rule of thumb for that. Take the number of years you have until retirement and double it. So if you have 20 years to go, that's 40. That number, 40%, is the maximum percentage of any raise you're allowed to spend. The other 60%, it automatically goes toward building your wealth engine. It's simple, it's powerful, and it automatically adjusts as you get older. When it comes down to it, getting off that treadmill is a choice that you have to make today. Building a system, well, it's slow. And in the beginning, success can feel a lot like uncertainty. But the one thing you can never get back is the compounding effect of starting now. So it all comes down to this: the systems you start building today are what will buy your freedom tomorrow. The choice was never really about working hard versus not working hard. It's about where you aim all that effort. So, looking at these 2 paths, which one will you say?